This meeting of the Oak Park City Council is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, City Clerk Norris, would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns, Councilmember Radner,
Here.
Councilmember Edgar,
Here.
and Councilmember Whitehead.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. I would like you to add item 10D1 to the agenda, approval of a change order for the camera upgrade project. 10D1. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. The consent agenda are items that are routine, that are usually approved by the council without discussion. Any council member can have one dropped and considered separately. A, regular city council meeting minutes for October 7th, 2024. B, special council meeting minutes, same date. C, special city council meeting minutes for October 8th. D, payment of invoices from the OHM advisors for the GIS app development for the total amount of $2,296.50. E, approval of pay application number 6 for the 2024 water main replacement project M764 in the amount of $144,053.90. F, approval of pay application number 4, the final, in the amount of $5,000 for the 2024 catch basin line replacement project M761 to JB Contractors Incorporated of Detroit, Michigan. G, Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission meeting minutes for June 13th, July 11th, and August 8th, 2024. H, Parks and Recreation Commission meeting minutes for August 21st and September 18th. I, request authorization to bid the 2025 citywide janitorial services contract. J, new and renewal licenses, business licenses for October 21, 2024. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. I don't see any elected officials here for item 6 on the agenda. Brings us to item 7, a special recognition or presentation on Domestic Violence Awareness Month by Public Safety. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today about the issue that impacts every community, including our health care. October is the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The time will be ranked nationwide as well as widespread issue. Promote the available resources, support survivors, from our commitment to ending the cycle of violence. Domestic violence is a pattern of coercive, controlling behavior that can include physical, emotional, verbal, sexual, financial, and other forms of abuse. According to the CDC, about 1 in 3 women and about 1 in 4 men have experienced severe physical violence from a partner in their lifetime. Domestic violence does not discriminate. It affects individuals of all ages, races, ethnicities, genders, and socioeconomic backgrounds. Every year, millions of people across the United States experience domestic violence, often in silence, afraid, or unable to seek the help that they need. The effects of this violence extend far beyond the immediate victim. Families, children, and even the entire community can feel the devastating impacts. Each time our officers respond to a domestic violence call, we see firsthand the pain, the fear, and the trauma inflicted on our victims. Every call can represent a person in crisis, someone who may feel trapped and unsure of how to escape. We understand that when they reach out to us, they are putting their trust in the system, and we are committed to standing by them. I want to assure you that the Oak Park Department of Public Safety takes this issue very seriously. Our officers are trained to respond to domestic violence incidents with compassion, professionalism, and a commitment to protecting those at risk. However, law enforcement alone cannot end domestic violence. It requires a coordinated community effort. we work closely with the advocacy group Haven. Haven is the leading nonprofit group in Oakland County dedicated to helping domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. They offer a comprehensive program for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Haven provides shelter, counseling, advocacy, and educational programming to nearly 30,000 people every year. Our close partnership with Haven ensures that victims receive not only immediate protection, but also access to essential resources for their long-term safety and recovery. This month, Public Safety has been working closely with our communications team, and they have done a fantastic job of promoting awareness. On our various websites, not only will you find local, state, and nationwide resources for domestic violence victims, you will also find resources available for the community as a whole to get involved. This includes promoting awareness and recognition of the different forms of domestic violence. There's information about recognizing the early warning signs and how you can help somebody who you might think is a victim, as well as how to support survivors. There's also information on early prevention, including educational programs to teach our children about healthy relationships at a young age. I encourage everyone to get involved and explore the information that we have made available. I also wanted to take this opportunity to highlight the Text to 911 system, which is up and running here in Oak Park, as well as our neighboring communities. This system allows people to send and receive text messages to communicate with 911 operators in real time. For domestic violence victims, calling 911 is often not an option. The fear of being overheard or escalating violence silences many, keeping them trapped in dangerous situations. This is where our Text to 911 comes in. It provides a silent lifeline to safety. Our communications team will also be pushing out awareness of the system, how it works, and how to use it in the very near future. During Domestic Violence Awareness Month, let's join together and make sure that every person in our city knows that they are not alone, that help is available, and that their community stands with them. The Oak Park Department of Public Safety will continue to confront domestic violence with the full weight of our resources. We will protect victims, hold offenders accountable, and work tirelessly to make our community a place where everyone feels safe. To the survivors in our community, you are not alone. We see you, we hear you, and we are here to help. That's all I have.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this is going out on our communications also? Yes. Deputy Director Janopoulos, thank you for your presentation. Thank you. Hard to go to accounting reports from that one.
Yes.
Approval for payment of invoices submitted by Garen Lucal Miller, PC, for legal services in the amount of $14,851.28. Solomon, do we have?
So moved.
All right. Is there a second? Thank you. Okay. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Edgar? Mayor McClellan?
Yes,
Councilmember Radner? Councilmember Whitehead?
unanimously approved. Item 9, ordinances. This is second reading and adoption of proposed zoning map amendments for the city of Oak Park to change the zoning of the property at 21790 Coolidge Highway, parcel ID 522532152001, from O Office District to IF Industrial Flex District. Is there a motion and a second? Thank you. And who do we have to discuss this? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and City Manager Tungate and City Council members. So this is a second reading of rezoning of a property that's on Capitol, the corner of Capitol and Coolidge. It's currently an office building. They are proposing doing residential units on the north end of the property with office uses on the south end of the property. And this is a second reading of it.
And in your work, I think you said why it's not spot zoning. Can you just
Yeah,
go
so
through?
if you look at the current zoning map, directly kitty corner is industrial flex, and across the street is multifamily residential, so it does fit within that area.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
Just one question.
Yes.
The part that's closer to the street, that's closer to the apartment buildings across the street, that's going to be the part that's rezoned residential?
Correct. Yeah, the whole property will be industrial flex, which allows for both uses. If you do multifamily only, it doesn't allow for the office use.
All right, roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan?
Yes.
Councilmember Radner? Councilmember Whitehead? Councilmember Edgar.
Okay, motion carried, thank you. City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Members of council. 10A1, I would like our very own city clerk, Thomas Edwin Norris, to give us an update on the November 5th general election, please, sir.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I would like just to mention a couple of things about voting that's going on right now. Just a reminder that we have absentee voting going on right now, and so I wanted to just mention to that those of you who have absentee ballots that have them at home and are finished with them, please do not delay and get them back to us. It helps us a lot if we get them back and get them recorded in. The main thing that I wanted to talk about is something that's relatively new. It's early in-person voting, which in Oak Park was going to begin on the 26th of, which is next Saturday of October. And for 9 days prior to the election through the 3rd of November, you can vote at our community center in person from 8:30 to 4:30 every day, except Halloween, the 31st, which is from noon until 8, so evening hours there. So if you choose to vote in person and don't want to I guess, get involved in perhaps some lines on Election Day, this is the exact same thing as Election Day voting. So please take advantage of that. And of course, Election Day, polls will be open, from 7 to 8 on that day, on the 5th. That's it.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to move on to 10B1, and I'm going to invite up our Corridor Improvement Authority Director, Michelle Bishop, to give the Corridor Improvement Authority annual report. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members and City Manager Tungate. My name is Michelle Bishop, and I am the Manager of Authorities, and I am here to present the 2023-2024 fiscal year report, and it is still not coming up. Hold on for technical difficulties. Yeah? All right. As you know, the CIA was established in 2016, and we oversee the corridors of Coolidge and 9 Mile and 11 Mile. Approximately 280 businesses are in those districts that we help to support. We are required by law to hold 2 annual meetings to review the work and accomplishments of our CIA, and this is the second meeting to fulfill that obligation. So in the past fiscal year, we've had 43 building permits requested, and that permit value totaled $4,281,227. The biggest increase in that amount was due to the self-storage project on Coolidge. Breaking down those numbers, you can take a look at our CIA base property value when we started was $34.3 million. We are currently sitting at $46.2 million, and that is up over $4.2 million over last year.
Whoa.
So that's fantastic. It's a change of almost $12 million since we started. Our asking rent price between 2022 and 2023 went down about 53 cents. Things are just kind of leveling out. We've seen some increases, back and forth through the different districts. Breaking down on Coolidge Highway, you'll see that our vacancy rate went up a little bit, 1.6%.
The blue line is what again?
I'm sorry?
The blue line is referring to what on the graph?
Blue line is history, right? History? Blue.
Is that if you look at the bottom?
Sorry, I need my glasses.
Yeah.
Sorry. That is the market sales price and transaction sales price.
So sales price is going up.
So the blue line on the top one is the market asking rent per square foot, and the orange line is the vacancy rate, and on the bottom graph, the orange is the market sale price per square feet, and the blue is the transaction sale price per square feet.
So as you can see, we have gone up, our vacancy rate has gone up a little bit on Coolidge over this past year, like 1.6%. We did have a number of Coolidge businesses that have moved out, but I'm happy to say that hopefully within the next couple of months, you will see many of those spaces filled. Our market rent per square foot went down just a little bit, and our market sale price per square foot just went down $1 over the course of the fiscal year. Moving on to 11 Mile, we had a vacancy rate of 0.6% last year. We are at 0%, which is absolutely amazing. Our market rent per square foot went down a little bit, $1.43, and our market sale price per square foot went down about $15. But the one thing is we have had no turnover over there. So everything's just kind of leveling out. There haven't been any new sales. So this is kind of where we're currently at. So it's still fantastic news. On 9 Mile, our vacancy rate went up a little bit, 1.1, and that was due to we lost the very large physical therapy business that was on 9 Mile. They moved out. It was a very large space. Our market rent per square foot went up just over $1, and our market sales price per square foot went up $8 a square foot, which is fantastic news. We had a lot of things going on over the course of this last fiscal year. We hired a full-time CIA manager, so I have been here just over a year now, and it's been a fantastic experience. We developed a new logo for the CIA. Our board worked with a graphic designer, and you'll see it right there. We achieved affiliate status with Main Street America and Main Street Oakland County, which provides us more support for the CIA overall. We launched a new Facebook page for our CIA and developed new marketing strategies to push our endeavors that we've got going on. We added 35 more colorful banners on East 9 Mile and Coolidge south of 9 Mile, just to kind of spruce up that area. We created our first big new event, which was Family Fun Fest, and that was along 9 Mile, which is different than the past because they've usually been in the social district, and that was fabulous, very well attended. We've held quarterly business networking and educational events. We approved 5 facade grants this year, more to come. One of the reasons for that is we bumped our facade grant from $2,500 to $5,000, and that definitely moved the needle with a lot of businesses. I've seen a lot of interest in the last couple of months, actually. We also won the Main Street Oakland County Partnership Award for our Tri-City partnership with Southfield and Lathrop Village. We do several quarterly networking events with them throughout the year. We helped Barbie Behavior, which is a business over on 9 Mile, win a $10,000 American Express Backing Small Business grant. And then we also helped Best Friends Daycare on 9 Mile win the Match on Main $25,000 grant, which allowed her to replace all of her playground equipment at her facility. And then overall, we added 11 new businesses to the district. As you can see, the list is here. I won't go through all of them. We did have a couple who the businesses were existent and they were sold to new owners. But other than that, I consider it a pretty successful year so far. So, did anybody have any questions I could answer?
No, could you do it again next year? Any questions?
I will definitely
from
try.
City Council? Inez and Marie. Mm-hmm. It did. So one of the things we're trying to do, because I sit in municipal services, if there's a brand new business that comes in, we are trying to catch them from day one when they come in and they apply for their business permit. And I kind of get in front of them, introduce myself, tell them all about what the CIA does and how we have a facade grant that can actually help them. We are putting that out on social media. We put it out in all of our emails that we send out to the businesses. And then just as we've got new businesses coming through, we, can take a look at where that business is going to go and be like, okay, they need some help. Let's get in touch with them. So we get in touch directly with
the business owner or the property owner and just let them know. So, and that's going to be a bigger initiative as we go through this year for me, to really target some of those other businesses that need a little bit of improvement, so. Nine Scotia. That was before me.
Sorry, yeah, that was before Michelle. We discussed it with him on several occasions, and he decided he just didn't want to take the time to apply, so.
Turned out, it was only 2,500 at that time.
What was that?
It was 2,500 at that time.
But we give it per business, so each business in that strip center would have gotten the 2,500.
Oh,
So it would have added up.
okay.
You know what, we just recently had a business come in, they're about to open on Coolidge, and when I was able to finally get in front of them, they just didn't want to wait, you know, the 4 or 6 weeks it was going to take to kind of get through our CIA board and come to council. So, you know, they just decided to push through, and, you know, hopefully, I mean, they can always apply for next year too.
Okay,
You're welcome.
fabulous. Keep bringing us good news, thank you.
Okay, so Michelle, do they need to vote on the annual report?
Or just
They
accept.
don't
Okay,
need to vote, no.
so 10B2, stay right there, and I'm going to
Yep.
have you go over the facade grant item as well.
So as we were discussing facade grants, I have one to put in front of you tonight. It's a new business that's opening up on Coolidge, Oakland Kids Rehabilitation, and they're at 25595 Coolidge Highway, just south of Lincoln. They're going to be opening soon, and they're just looking to put a new sign up above their entryway. It should be in your packet. We are recommending that the city council approve the facade grant for a max of 50% of the project, not to exceed $5,000. The Corridor Improvement Authority will financially be paying for the grant. And as I said, definitely bumping that up to $5,000. We've seen quite a bit more movement. I have a few more grants that are currently sitting on my desk. So we just need a motion to approve that grant.
Is there a motion to approve the facade grant?
Second.
Thank you.
Do we need a roll call vote? Oh, yes, question.
So if you look at Lincoln, or RX, Lincoln RX, right there, if you come south, they're in the next plaza that's south. So Aquatic Solutions is in there. I'm trying to think of who else is in there. The Blinds place is in there. So they're kind of like right in the middle.
Yeah, that's great.
Ready to vote? Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? Roll call, thank you.
Councilmember Radner?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead?
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar?
Yes.
And Mayor McClellan?
Yes, motion carried unanimously, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. So, council members, 10C, I'm going to briefly talk about Elevate Oak Park. I was hoping to be able to share some slides with renderings that the county has for the improvements they're planning to make to Shepherd Park, but I've been told by the county that we can't yet share those publicly. But I can say this, I have reviewed them, and I could not be more excited because it's awesome. But I do want to also mention that we are in the process of preparing for construction on the event hub. We have reached a critical phase, which is the site plan will be going to the Planning Commission at their November meeting. Very excited about that because after that, of course, we can move into construction documents and so forth. But we expect to begin construction, and Dave is going to ensure that this happens, right? But we expect to begin construction in probably March or April of 2025. So the construction timeline for the event hub is about 12 months. So, you know, our hope would obviously be to open it to the public in the summer of '26. I am very, very excited about that. We are still working on full capitalization of that project, identifying additional resources, financial resources, so that we don't have to use any of the millage, operating millage money that was approved for that. Next, we are moving into another pretty big phase with the community center, which we are going to be asking council to look at a senior housing, another part to that study that was completed, because obviously we want to make sure that we get the senior housing part of that correct. Council members, and it is going to take quite a bit of feedback from you before we do that. And that includes identifying the exact location of that development, because as we get closer to that, the way that we're contriving it would be, we would split off that piece of property for the senior development, senior housing development, and that would stand separately from the rest of it, even though it's still part of the larger site plan development. So that's coming up. We're also, lastly, on the community center, we are pushing for issuing bonds for that coming up in the spring, which is a huge, huge project, obviously. And we're talking to our financial consultants about that, but one of the things that we may be doing is bringing these underwriters into town and just showing them how great this community is, because the way that they perceive this community in a situation like that, where we're asking them to rate us, is critical for our taxpayers, because the better rating we get, the lower interest rate we're going to get. And everyone has heard me say this a million times for the last 12 years plus, but we are a A+ stable community. If we can get to AA-, we're probably going to be able to shave about 1/4 to 1/2 point off of our interest rate, which results in hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings, believe it or not, to our residents. So that's my hope. So when and if that point in time and that site visit happens, of course, I'll be, we'll amp up everything and put on a real show for them. So they'll either be coming in from Chicago or New York for that. So those are my updates for the Elevate Oak Park stuff. I would like, unless there's any questions, I would like to move to another matter, which is, council members, each one of you received the new and improved resident handbook that was just completed. Where's Brittany? I know she's back there. There she is. Okay. I know Brittany has enjoyed working on this.
I have.
It's been a lot of fun. It is a lot of work, and I want to say.
And she wishes it was her city was offering that to new
Right.
residents.
Well, and I think that, yes, and this is the how-to for Oak Park, and includes everything from garbage pickup to elected officials to where your voting precinct is, on and on and on. The idea being that it's a one-stop resource for our residents that is now fully updated and will continuously be updated as time goes on. Council members, you may notice in the bottom right that there's this that there's this code. This code will be going in the future how people can scan this, obviously, and they'll see the most updated version, which will go right back to our website. I understand this is currently, I keep hitting my microphone. I understand this is currently on our website and available, so we'll have a link to provide if we need to, but there it is. Great job.
Updated in one place on the website.
Can you come to the microphone?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. I should know. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brittany Toth, Communications Director. So we've updated on the website. It's a bit of a labyrinth since the website is its own, project and then some. So I've identified, I think it was in 5 places. So we took down all the old, outdated versions. We replaced one right before needing to come into these meetings. And then tomorrow, we're going to make sure that the rest of the links are all updated as well. So we'll send those links out and have it live and ready to roll tomorrow.
While I have you there, just because I know several council members have asked about this, but the city website, could you give us a brief update on that?
Sure. So the city website, as you all likely know, and I've come up to speed since coming on board here in July and August, was migrated, and we had paid for a contract through Revise, which is a very popular municipal hosting site that I've seen in other jurisdictions as well. And so that had already taken place, and that's kind of the majority of the work in terms of what we paid for. So that took place in November of 2022, I believe. 2022, is that right? Yeah. And so then it was really about updating and then switching over to the new one. Because we lost that time in between, there's been a lot of things that I think for a while they were updating on the new site and leaving the site that we're currently using kind of dormant while they were hoping to make the switch. But because there was that lag time in between, we just started using the website that the public can access because that's what they needed to use. And so the one that was migrated became outdated. And so what we're looking to do is bring on some help from an IT professional that can dedicate some time to this, really sit down with someone, whether it's myself or someone on my staff as the internal project liaison, and go department by department. And we're going to have to take that website that's already been migrated and basically scrub the whole thing. And so I have put together a proposal. We went out to see if we could find some hourly contractors, IT folks that can help us kind of make this a priority, because my background's in communications and I can certainly maintain a website, but I'm not like a web designer by trade. And so we're looking to prioritize that and have this person on board so that we can really get this underway no later than first quarter of next year.
Thank you. Okay, council members, if there's, I have one more item on the city manager report, but
Just a quick question, is this gonna be bound, or is this the way it's gonna come to residents?
it can be bound, but my hope, because, over the years, we've gotten stuck into this printing hundreds and hundreds of these, and how much is each color copy? I'm not Too much is how much it is. So we can do that, but we would prefer not to, because again, the whole point is it's an electronic version, and we want to send people to the website and/or this PDF static document as much as possible.
New residents get this in that beautiful green Oak Park folder, along with other important information that Jamie Garcia has been working on for a long time. So it is part of this folder of information that new residents need. And she will show you, it's at her desk.
Madam Mayor,
what
do-
the-
That wasn't my question. I just wondered if it was gonna be made into a booklet.
It can be, is my answer to that, but Madam Mayor, can I just want to make one correction? So the assessor, as we've been doing for new residents in the past and will continue to do, as they're registering their property as their primary residence, the assessor's office will have hard copies to hand to them,
Nice.
just like the mayor said.
Nice.
But we wanted to make sure that we weren't limiting this just to new residents. We want to make sure it's available to all of our residents. So that's one of the reasons we went to this electronic format. But we can print off for residents if they would like. We just don't want to get into the habit of that, as it's very expensive. Okay. 10D1, I would like to ask Deputy City Manager of Municipal Services and DPW, David DeCoster, please.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Manager Tungate. First off, thank you for adding this to the agenda this evening. You may remember at the September 16th, 2024 meeting, City Council approved the 2024 camera upgrade project to Interstate Security. Since that time, Interstate has brought to us a new vendor for their cameras. They're an upgraded camera for the same price that we were paying with the original awarded amounts. We further discussed with Interstate about upgrading our video software. Our current video software is about 13 years old, a little bit outdated, doesn't provide a lot of the benefits of newer softwares in the access control world. So we talked about them. They provided pricing to upgrade that now. What we were going to do is we were going to wait until the community center is built, migrate the entire city. After talking with Interstate, instead of paying camera licensing now, software upgrades now for a system that's somewhat antiquated, they've redid our proposal, and we've included new licensing for the new cameras with the new software. Ultimately, it is a $1,800 change in the black. So we're going to be adding $1,800 to the contract, but we're upgrading our entire software system. If we weren't to do this, we could stay with the original bid, with the original software, but when we go to upgrade the software, maybe when we do the community center and/or event hub, we would then be paying the cost again. So really, ultimately, it's a long-term cost savings. So tonight, I'm bringing you a recommendation to approve the change order number 1 for the 2024 camera upgrade project to Interstate Security of Shelby Township, Michigan, for a total amount of $1,812. It is further recommended a budget amendment for the same amount be approved from the general fund balance to cover these costs.
So moved.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead?
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar?
Yes.
And Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Call to the audience. Please limit to 3 minutes, and do you have cards?
I do,
Yes.
I have one.
Mhm.
Don Corcoran?
Trustee Don Corcoran.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. I actually just wanted to just bring to awareness of the candidates and their signs that they must keep in mind that there are city codes. And if they have any questions, they should call the municipal building. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Perennial problem. Mhm. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. Call to the council. Let's see, Solomon Radner.
Well, this is our first meeting since we've come to terms with Eric sticking around.
Oh.
So I just wanted to publicly in this public forum, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for staying with us and telling those big bad cities with their big bad checkbooks to go away.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
And happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I should have said something during my time as well, but I do want to thank the members of City Council. You know, I've said this many times before, but this is my 5th government entity that I've worked, and this is my 2nd city that I've been the city manager of. And these people right here, and they're going to think that I'm saying this to butter them up, but it's the honest truth, are the best elected officials I have ever worked with. And these are the best residents that I have ever worked with as well, and staff, by far. So it's not a difficult decision. When you take the contract issues aside, Oak Park is really going places. And what the future holds for us is just unbelievable. I mean, we're just getting started. So I'm really excited. And by the way, I love this city, and I just want to thank all of you so much for everything.
Thank you. Bravo, bravo. And at the end, we're going to sing you happy birthday. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for coming out tonight. We have so much coming up, and we needed Eric, City Manager Tungate, to help steer us through all these changes, all good, coming up, and challenges that we'll face as we get a little bit bigger and we just do more. And we have more events going on, more staff. So I'm very happy that he decided to stay with us. Happy birthday, and good night.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Happy birthday, City Manager Tungate. And I'm really glad we got you locked in for another 3 years. I think the analogy used was you got to keep Miguel Cabrera on the team. So I don't think you were there when we were negotiating that, but that's how we feel about you. So, and with that, it's been a great, productive year. So I want to finish it out strong. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Eric Tungate could have made more money going to another city. He is dedicated to the city and the amazing changes that he has spearheaded here. And we're tickled that he is here and staying on with us. And if anybody can sing, can you start Happy Birthday? Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eric. Happy birthday to you.
Happy 27th.
I'm 27.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much.
One last word from our city clerk.
I wanted to make sure, I think I misspoke a little bit. I said next Saturday. I meant this Saturday, the 26th, is the beginning of early voting. So
Right.
I wanted to make sure that was
And
clarified.
that early voting does appeal to people who want to see with their own eyes that ballot going in that machine, but would rather not wait an hour to vote. So this is a way that you can have your cake and eat it too. It's a new thing, so it's kind of, we're always hesitating to try something new, but it's a good change, and we will get used to it. With that, thank you and good night.